up, everyone? Welcome back to another ASMR video. In today's video, I will be doing my first ASMR review, and today's video is gonna be about Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Now, I might get into spoilers. I don't know. So beware. I'm just gonna start rambling, but if I get into spoilers, I'm sorry. You've been warned. I mean, not warned. What the fuck? You've been warned. But I'm just gonna jump right into it. So, overall rating. I'm gonna start off with like the overall rating. I would say this is a solid 9.2 out of 10. I would say this is. I will say I'm gonna get into like the goods and then the bads. I will say this one movie is better than John Watts' whole trilogy. I will say that. Destin Crichton cooked with this. I absolutely admire all his work. Wonder Man. I haven't watched it. I've heard a lot of good things, but I did watch Shang-Chi. That was peak. I loved it. The act, like the moment I heard that Jackie Chan's like stunt team was like gonna be like kind of like doing like the stunts for the prison fight scene. I was like, we won. This is gonna be the best. This movie's gonna have like insane like fight scenes and everything and action. It was gonna be insane, and I was right. It was insane, and the swing and like the cinematography was awesome. The color grading amazing. The web swinging. I was very worried about this. The web swinging, because in the previous movies, the web swinging was like handled very badly in my opinion, because anytime like we saw him web swinging, it was all CGI, and that's one thing I hated about John Watts like trilogy. Too much motherfucking CGI. I'm gonna swear. I know, too much CGI, and like the suit was CGI, the swinging was CGI. Like holy shit, bro. But they did shoot actual swinging in this movie, which like actual practical swinging, which was thank God. Like swinging has not been this good since The Amazing Spider-Man. There's like I'm just gonna say this like the swinging in this movie is still not better than The Amazing Spider-Man, but it can compete. The Amazing Spider-Man still has better swinging. That's like I feel like that's like what that whole like franchise like that series has over all of the Spider-Man movies, the web swinging and cinematography. But the web swinging, like the intro and everything, was awesome. I will say I love the fact that they didn't make it so MJ and Ned. I love the fact that they didn't make it so like they even remember him again in this movie. Quick spoiler. I know, quick spoiler. I did kind of fall for that one scene in the movie where like they're on the rooftop, Peter and MJ. They're on like the rooftop, and they're kind of just talking, and MJ like takes off his mask, like not like completely, like takes off his mask, kisses him, and like takes off like the full mask, and then like shows like the face, and like she's like, Peter, and like they just hug, and Peter's like, I can't believe you figured it out and everything. And I will say I did fall for it, but then like after they hugged and everything, it was like, I can't believe you figured it out. And then I was like, wait, what if this is Jean Grey? Because like at that point of the movie, we figure out that Jean Grey Jean Grey, you know, she's in the movie, and we figure out that she can like mind control people, and basically I fell for that scene, and that was like brutal. That was brutal. Peter was like, I could not imagine being Peter like that. That would just be like a heartbreaking moment. But I will say Jean Grey was like, she was pretty fun. It was pretty fun to have her in the movie. I do want to get into the Punisher and the Hulk. The Punisher was awesome. I loved the dynamic between the Punisher and Spider-Man. It was awesome. It was so goddamn funny. Anytime like they were on screen together, or like even when Punisher was on screen, it was like so funny. And I'm so glad that they managed to like how well I was actually surprised how well they managed to like of like dismiss him. And it's like, it kind of happens like the Hulk, like, Savage Hulk comes out, and then like after like Peter does like the whole thing and everything, like he like Savage Hulk goes back to Bruce Banner, and then like it kind of just happens. It's kind of he just gets like like sent his ambulance and then like dismissed, never mentioned again. I was like, so what happened to Bruce? What happened with him? Like they never mentioned him after that again. Um, but that's like not like the biggest issue. But one thing I will say is the villain. The villain for this movie was the well, it was Damage Control, like the head of Damage Control. That was like, in my opinion, kind of a bit disappointing. It was like a step down in my opinion. Because in the trailers, I watched the trailers. The trailers they showed it. They kind of like hyped it up to be a Scorpion. In the trailers they showed Scorpion. And they were like, Scorpion is going to be the main villain. And then like from the leaks, it kind of showed Tombstone being the main villain. So it was like best of both worlds. And for me, I was like, there's a chance Scorpion's the main villain. There's a chance Tombstone's the main villain. Like if either one is a win, in my opinion. But it ended up not being any of those. Tombstone was in the movie for like 10 seconds. Scorpion was in the movie for like 10 minutes. I would say 9 minutes, something like that. But I feel like a better choice could have been someone like Mr. Negative. I kind of feel like Mr. Negative would have been a bit better than whatever the hell we got. But Jean Grey, I think like at some point in the movie, we did like the movie kind of portrayed that Jean Grey was the main villain. Like that's kind of like what they started to portray, because like she was controlling people against and doing like making them do stuff against like their will. And even Peter, he was like, we were like kind of like in Peter's shoes. I feel like that was something that they did pretty well. I will say that they didn't make it so it's like they didn't make it so it's like we know that the leader of Damage Control, I keep forgetting his name, but like the leader of Damage Control, I'm glad they didn't make it so like we knew that the leader of Damage Control, or like the head of Damage Control, was like the main villain. And then we like kind of learn about Jean Grey, and then like we know that Jean Grey isn't the main villain, but Peter thinks she's the main villain. I'm glad they didn't do that. I think that's called like dramatic irony or something. I'm glad like we kind of followed the same thing with Peter. Like we thought Jean Grey was the villain, but then like he finds out that wait, no, she wasn't the problem. Like Damage Control was, and we find that out with Peter. So I feel like that was pretty cool. And Peter, Ned and MJ, like they were great as always. I will say that the one thing I was kind of confused about was like the whole like I would say like I was pretty confused with like the ending with like the handshake and everything, because like I don't think Ned remembers like Peter with like the handshake and stuff. I feel like that handshake might have been just kind of like a muscle memory, like after like he did like the dab, like, and then like he like took his like hand out and like did the wing. I feel like with Ned it's kind of just like a muscle memory, like he remembered doing it, but like he doesn't remember who he did it with. And then he says Peter, cause like what's it called? Cause like he goes up to him and says, "Hi, I'm Peter." And like earlier in the movie, like when Spider-Man was leaving MJ and Ned's like apartment, and like MJ did yell out saying, "Good luck, Peter." I think it was like, "Good luck, Peter," and Ned was like, Spider-Man's name's Peter, so he figured that out. So I feel like that was kind of just like connecting the dots. But overall, it was a pretty good movie. There were some parts, like I said, that was that probably could have been handled better, but overall, it was pretty good. Post-credit scene, I'm still so confused about it, because like it either could have been Tom Holland Spider-Man is out of space, or it might have been Tobey Maguire's, because like he is rumored to be in Avengers Doomsday. It probably could have been that. I have no idea. But I will say, like, everything about this movie, the action, stunts, CGI, like I know they use CGI, but like it wasn't a lot of stuff was practical. The suit, especially the suit, was so good. best suit. I will say I don't give a shit. Like this suit is better than Tobey Maguire's suit. This suit's better than even better than the Amazing Spider-Man suit. Like this is the best suit. I know even like Tom Holland admitted that like they took like ideas from both suits and like put them into like one and kind of like create like a spider child and everything. So yeah, but overall, super good looking suit. But yeah, like I said, this movie is pretty good. Like I feel like Marvel is like back. I will say Marvel's back. Like they're finally making movies people actually care about. Like we got Avengers movies, X-Men. Now like we just had Spider-Man, so that's awesome. Like they're finally doing something right. And this also kind of like redeemed Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I would say, because like for like the third, like this, I feel like this Tom Holland is like the first live-action Spider-Man actor to get 4 movies. Like I know, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was supposed to get, like did get 4 movies, but like that was canceled. It was supposed to, but it got canceled. It's just like Tom Holland's the first one to get a full 4th movie, and like he's gonna get 6 in total. Like there's a 5th one in, there's like a 5th one already in the works, and I feel like this movie kind of redeemed him because like before people criticize him so much, saying like he doesn't go through the struggles like other Spider-Man did. He has Tony Stark, he has the tech, he doesn't really have to. He has like a healthy aunt. He has like if he's ever in trouble, he literally can just like call up Iron Man and like the Avengers and everything. But people criticize him so much for that, especially with like the bad writings and like over CGI, the bad suit, and like he just became like a punching bag, to be honest. And now it's like this is one of the better Spider-Man movies. This finally redeemed him, especially with like the whole mutation. I forgot to get into the mutation stuff. I'm sorry, but the mutation stuff was crazy. Like I'm glad they didn't make it so like, oh, he got organic weapons, boom, he figures out everything, he knows how to do everything. I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm also glad that they went, but like they didn't make it so it's like, oh, he tries to learn it and eventually, and like, oh, now he knows how to do it. But they did, like, I like that they went with like a different route where it's like, oh, he got organic webs, better, senses, better spider sense and everything. He's stronger now, but he doesn't want it, like, because it's kind of like overdriving, it's overstimulating, it's overdriving, it's driving him crazy. So it's like he tries to like hide it away. He prefers the older version with like the mechanical shooters and everything. So but then the prison fight scene, one thing I really wished was they didn't show the prison fight scene. If they didn't show that in the trailer, I feel like this would have turned out so much better. But I feel like I think they did have to show it because of like the whole like they wanted to show like how brutal he could be with it. But I feel like they already did that with like the scorpion scene and everything. But yeah, the prison fight scene, highlight of the movie in my opinion, best fight scene. It was so fun, and yeah, it was super cool. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of the video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it in the comments down below, and let me do some other reviews, like movies to review